The Senate is getting ready for talks on charter change. The Committee on Constitutional Amendments will hold a hearing on Wednesday to determine if there really is a need to change the Constitution and what mode the Senate will adopt to change the charter. Our senior correspondent Cecil Ardezabal tells us about a resolution that Senator Ping Lacson filed today.
Senator Panfilo Lacson filed a resolution Monday for the Senate to convene as a constituent assembly or a CONAS to have the proposed amendments for the 1987 Constitution. And then Senator said that 3/4 of the members of the chamber will vote to approve an amendment. And then senators will sit down with members of the House of Representatives to talk about their own amendments and then come up with a final decision in a bicameral conference committee. Senator Lacson said that he is confident that he can get the support of the majority of his co-leads at the Senate. Now, we were able to get the thoughts of some of the senators on this. Senator Grace Poe said that she is supportive of the resolution of Senator Lacson. In fact, she will co-author the resolution along with Senators Loren Legarda, Mig Zubiri, and Senate Majority Leader Tito Soto. Specifically, they raised the independence of the Senate as an institution and that it serves as a check and balance of whatever the lower house decides on. Let's listen in to Senator Grace Poe.
Sa ngayon, ang aming pinag-uusapan dito sa Senado, kung ano man ang aming tatalakayin, ay hiwalay ang aming pagtalakay sa lower house. So kung sila magtatalakay, di bahala sila.
Senator J.V. Ejercito said that the resolution is worth looking into. He will study it and will decide soon. We are also awaiting the CONAS resolution to be filed by Senate President Coco Pimentel. Just about 2 weeks ago, he said that the idea is that for both members of houses, the lower house and the upper chamber, to convene, but they will vote separately. Also, Senate Minority Frank Drilon and Senator Rizo Ontiveros, on the other hand, prefer Constitutional Commission or CONCON in changing the Constitution, but Senator Drilon stressed that in voting, there should have the participation of the Senate. Let's listen in to Senator Frank Drilon.
Certainly the view of the political leader of this country has a lot of weight insofar as Congress is concerned, especially that there is a supermajority here, but this is a bicameral Congress, and I would like to think that the Senate has always been proud of the independence as a tradition.
Senators made it clear, though, that in changing the Constitution, there should be a compelling reason on why it needs to be amended. And also, the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments will resume its hearing on the charter change on Wednesday, and then senators will discuss on why is there a need to change the Constitution in the first place, and they will also discuss on what the mode will be, whether it be through Constitutional Commission or CONCON or Constituent Assembly or CONAS. We were also told that the committee will be inviting constitutionalists and other experts to share their thoughts on the matter.
President Duterte said he dismissed Commission on Higher Education Chairperson Patricia Licuanan today. Mr. Duterte did not say anything on why he wanted Licuanan out. But in a speech in Davao City this afternoon, he again emphasized his anti-corruption drive. Here's the president in his own words.
I have dismissed Licuanan today, yung sa CHED, and yung sa Marina. He has tendered this resignation, and many will follow. Do not look at me as a saint. Pare-pareho lang tayong lahat.
The remarks came hours after Licuanan announced during CHED's flag-raising ceremony this morning that she resigned upon Malacanang's request. Licuanan told CNN Philippines she received a call from Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldea over the weekend, asking her to step down from her position. Licuanan is facing several issues, including allegations of unauthorized trips abroad. She denies these and adds she decided to step down as her presence will, quote, only attract more controversy harmful to the agency. Licuanan notes she has ceased to be effective because of almost always being outvoted in en banc meetings. The Securities and Exchange Commission revokes the business registration of Rappler, a move the online news agency describes as a blow to press freedom. The SEC says Rappler violated the constitutional provision banning foreign ownership in media. Based on its investigation, the SEC finds Rappler granted foreign entities, quote, influence over its corporate policy. In the letter to its readers and viewers, Rappler says it has always been transparent in its operations and vows to exhaust all legal means to appeal the revocation and continue the fight for freedom to do journalism. Rappler executives face the media this afternoon. Our Rex Remito tells us how this will affect the company's operations.
A defiant Rappler Chief Executive Officer Maria Ressa says they will continue to operate despite the revocation of their license. They will continue reporting and writing stories. They will continue to hold those in power accountable. Ressa says they have been anticipating the decision by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
The speed at which this has happened and the kinds of attacks that media in general has gone through shows a very political nature of this decision, and we will be challenging this in court.
She adds this is a clear harassment by the Duterte administration. We recall that President Duterte, in his speeches, has always been accusing Rappler of being biased against him and his officials. Rappler officials also insist the company, which was founded in 2012, is not in any way owned by a foreign entity. In its decision, the SEC has been arguing that Rappler violated the constitutional provision on foreign ownership that the company sold itself to foreign companies. Now, the two foreign entities, Omidyar Network and North Base Media, have only been holding Philippine Depository Receipts or PDRs. Ressa has illustrated that these PDRs are legal. When a firm is holding a PDR, it's like a person betting on a horse race. The firm does not have any hold on the company, on its day-to-day decision-making or editorial judgments. Ressa also says the SEC did not follow the rules of procedure in coming up with a decision. That's why they will bring the case up to the Supreme Court. They're still hoping that the justices will uphold the rule of law and press freedom despite its present composition. That's why they're calling on other media outfits and the public as well to stand with them in fighting for press freedom. Rex Remito, CNN Philippines.
CNN Philippines also spoke with presidential spokesperson Harry Roque. He commends the SEC for standing firm on its mandate. Roque clarifies President Duterte had no hand in the revocation order against Rappler.
So there is here a limitation of freedom of the press that it should be open to Filipinos. And I think the SEC is the local body that determines whether or not the corporations comply with these constitutional requirements. We have nothing to do with the SEC decision. That was a very sound decision of the SEC. And as I said, the president did not even appoint the majority of that commission. No.
The Office of the Solicitor General also comments on the revocation of Rappler's registration. In a statement, Solicitor General Jose Calida says he applauds the SEC for revoking Rappler's certificate of incorporation. Calida says the decision demonstrates that even influential media outfits cannot skirt the restrictions set by the Constitution. He says Rappler is free to seek redress before the courts and that he's ready to defend the order in any forum. It was Calida's office that asked the SEC back in December 2016 to investigate Rappler's ownership. More justices face the House panel hearing on the impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. They claim Sereno violated the Supreme Court rules, but the justices refused to comment when asked if Sereno violated the Constitution with her actions. Our Joyce Ilas reports.
Associate Justices Lucas Bersamin and Diosdado Peralta believe that Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno violated the collegiality or the collegial nature of the Supreme Court. In the impeachment complaint, Attorney Larry Gadon alleged that Sereno made several decisions without the approval of the Supreme Court en banc. However, when asked if they think Sereno deliberately committed culpable violation of the Constitution when she violated the collegiality of the Supreme Court, they refused to comment. Meanwhile, Peralta and Associate Justice Samuel Martirez confirm that the release of pension for the surviving spouses of justices and judges were delayed for more than 2 years. They agree the delay started when Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno created a special committee and technical working groups to process the applications. They noted that prior to the creation of the committee, it only took the court a couple of weeks to process retirement benefit applications. Some congressmen then blamed Sereno for the delay because she created the committee and working groups and because she did not do anything about the delay. One congressman, however, pointed out that there is no proof that the Chief Justice intentionally and deliberately caused this delay. Sereno's lawyers earlier said, aside from Sereno, Associate Justices Antonio Carpio and Presbitero Velasco also approved the creation of the special committee. They said if there is a delay, it cannot be attributed to Sereno because the applications were referred to the special committee and TWGs.
Some of us are interested or are in favor of dissolving this technical working group. Kawawa po yung mga byuda. 2 years. Mga surviving spouses, they came to us. They were crying. Na bakit nadidelay?
Kung ano man po yung mga alingas-ngas doon, wala pong impeachable offense kasi wala namang personal na ginawa si Chief Justice na pwede niyong akusahan at sabihin na siya ang may kasalanan kung bakit tumagal ng tumagal.
A total of 6 associate justices and 1 retired associate justice have so far testified in the impeachment hearing. Now, the House Committee on Justice is planning to invite more associate justices, including Mariano del Castillo and Andres Reyes. The committee is also planning to subpoena the psychiatrists and the psychiatric record of the Chief Justice.
After the police and the military got their substantial salary hikes this year, a group is also calling for a major wage increase for teachers. But the chances of that happening this year still hang in the balance. Our Rex Remitio tells us more.
Members of a teachers group and a budget department official got into a heated exchange in a dialogue meeting. The group is pushing for a bill that would grant a 10,000 peso salary hike for all teachers. If the policemen and soldiers got a substantial pay increase, the teachers say they deserve the same.
Kailangan maibigay yung tamang sagot. Pero hanggang ngayon, hindi po niyo binibigay yung tamang sagot. That's why marami pa sa amin ang nanggigigil na.
But Budget Assistant Secretary Mirna Chua assures the teachers it's going to happen, although the government cannot say exactly when. Budget Chief Ben Jokno has said a salary hike for teachers is not their priority this year. The government estimates it will spend 500 billion pesos for the teachers' higher pay until 2020, an amount the government says it could spend for infrastructure projects.
Lahat ng tanong nyo, nasagot ko na, even the prioridad, kasi kaya lang pinipilit nyo yung gusto nyong interpretation.
Chua was forced to walk out of the dialogue. She says Jokno will instead answer questions on Wednesday.
Ibig sabihin po ma'am, walang kaharap po sa amin.
Tingnan nyo, nilayasan na po tayo. Ano nang mangyayari sa atin dito?
Chua says public teachers get better pay than those in private schools. They get a take-home pay of 20,000 pesos plus 3,500 pesos for their chalk allowance.
Kasi pagka nag-increase ka ng teacher, lahat ng government employees, ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng teacher lang. Kasi salary standardization law tayo, isa lang ang salary schedule na sinusunod natin.
But Teachers Dignity Coalition Chair Benjo Basa says teachers need more take-home pay as prices of goods and services are going up.
Medyo masakit ito sa amin, no? Kasi this is that statement is around counters, no? Counter to the constitutional mandate, no? Kung saan sinasabi na dapat ay bigyan talaga ng prioridad, no, sa budget, no, yung ating education sector.
Basas adds while police and military members risk their lives for their jobs, teachers also make sacrifices.
10,000 across the board!